Right, hello everybody, welcome back to the channel for the daily RuneScape Leaks Catalyst teasers and reveals. We're now on day 5 of what looks to be about 14 days in a row. Yesterday we saw Farmer's Frenzy being brought out, which we suspect will be up against the previous day's 2 choices of Golden Footed and 5-finger discount. Some really good comments on yesterday's video, some good ideas about how this could be really good. But today, brand new Relic, Banker's Note. Almost certainly going to be one of 2 choices, potentially those 2 over there, as you can see in tier 5. Where it looks like there's only a split choice between 2. That was of course where Banker's Note came in the last few old school RuneScape leagues. It's a big one, so it normally just goes up against one other big one in a tier, and it's going to make a big difference on how you decide to play. Grants access to your bank almost anywhere in the world. So what this is going to do is going to give you the Banker's Note item in your inventory, and you're going to be able to activate this, and it's going to open your bank. So wherever you are in the game, you can just pop your bank open. Whether you're skilling, you're doing combat, maybe you're at God Wars 1, you've just killed the boss and all the minions, you've got 10 seconds before the boss respawns, don't need to leave and get your prayer back, just open your bank, grab some prayer, deposit the loot, don't need to banknote it or bring yak scrolls, you can just put it straight in your bank. Otherwise, you can use items on the Banker's Note and they'll be able to be noted, as you can see. So with the activate option, you can note and unnote items in one action. You can configure this to specify with the quantity. If you played the last few old school leagues and you took Banker's Note, you'll already know how this works. Basically, you can right click it, type in a number. So maybe you're, running around doing quests, maybe you've got noted Guam potions and noted Eyes of Newt. You could unnote like 10 of each as you run around, make some potions as you're questing, and then note those potions and continue to unnote those unfinished supplies. Really versatile. Obviously, this is going to allow you to do a bunch of skilling or resupplying in combat remotely, but if you do get to 60 combat, you can enter War's Retreat here, which is the best bank in the game. You can come over here. Once you've killed 10 bosses, then you unlock the spell that teleports you straight to War's Retreat. It's free, it's instant castable in combat, and it takes you over here where there is a bank chest. So getting to a bank is very quick in this game. You don't need to get like the 99 crafting cape or something like you would in old school. But of course, having remote access to your bank anywhere is insane. Because in old school, of course, all you could do, put items onto the Banker's Note to transform them into noted versions, or use noted versions on the note to unnote them. So that'll be really crazy. There's so much you could do with this. But of course, RuneScape 3, we have a lot more stuff than you have in old school. For example, you could withdraw a yak, carry that around with you. That has its own inventory anyway of 30 slots. So you can carry a lot of supplies to various bossing encounters, and there's also a lot of reasons to go to the bank anyway. Maybe between every boss you're going to want to come back here anyway. Use the altar, which is going to reset not only your prayer and your special attack and all your like cooldowns, it's going to give you your Excalibur cooldown back, things like that. Whereas if you were to just get more supplies out from the Banker's Note, you wouldn't get all those effects. You won't be able to come back, reset your health boost at the campfire, get your adrenaline back to full at the crystals. So it's really cool. You'll be able to obviously remotely bank, but there's still a lot of reasons you'll probably want to bank. Now, of course, this is going to be good for some very specific skills. Runecraft is the big one, and that's how a lot of people use this in the old school leagues, of course. You can just bring all your pure essence with you to an altar, bring it noted, and then just repeatedly click on the Banker's Note to unnote like 27 essence, click on the altar and repeat, get millions of Runecraft XP an hour. Only issue with that though, if you are runecrafting on this game, you are going to want to go through the Abyss, so you can be eligible to earn these magical threads, so you can work on your rune pouch. That's how you make rune pouches in this game. So what you will have to do if you do take this for runecrafting is just run through the Abyss, then spend like 1 minute activating this, unnoting your essence, making runes, and then after that you lose the Abyss buff. At that point you'll want to tally to the bank, go back through the Abyss to get the 1 minute buff again, and then repeatedly use your Banker's Note at the altar. So it's going to be a lot more crafts per trip, but you're not going to want to just camp at the altar, unnoting essence, and just solidly doing runecraft like that, because if you do that, you won't be able to earn the threads to make your magic rune pouches. Now, of course, that might not be necessary. Maybe you don't do any mage at all. Maybe there's an upcoming relic that gives you mage runes for free or something, or like a turbocharged rune pouch. We don't know yet. But yeah, this will be insane for a bunch of skills. Runecraft is one of them. Probably not agility. Maybe on Anachronia, where there are these large runs between some of the obstacles, you could unnote supplies from your bank and just do some skilling in between agility. Of course, combat will be fantastic for any Slayer task. As long as you're available to walk a little bit away from the monsters and get out of combat, you'll be able to just open your bank, put all the loot from your Slayer task straight into the bank. You're not going to need magic notepaper with this thing, because it's obviously going to act as magic notepaper. It's going to make doing things like Zuck really easy, providing on one of the waves you can find yourself a nice safe spot behind one of the walls. Then you can just open your bank in there and you can just get more supplies out if you need to. Now, it is worth mentioning this does say grants access to your bank almost anywhere in the world. We don't know where this is excluded. There's probably just some weird quest places, I would imagine, that probably break some old quests or something. Like maybe if you're in the flashback cutscene in like Icthurin's Little Helper or something like that. I imagine in most like PVM and skilling circumstances, you are going to be able to open your bank anywhere. Could be very useful to do more classic style construction. You could bring all your noted planks with you to your old player-owned house and do construction that way without taking part in the fort. Wouldn't recommend that though, because of course you're going to want to build your fort buildings up to tier 3 anyway for all the bonuses they provide. But an option, you know, you can bring yourself bankers now. You won't be able to bring this into dungeoneering almost certainly, because you can't take a bunch of stuff inside there. So there's not going to be any weird dungeoneering floor gimmicks you can do with this. If you don't take excavator, or you don't want signs of the porter for gathering skills, this could replace signs of the porter for every gathering skill. It'll be very finicky to use with archaeology, of course, because anytime you dig at an archaeology spot, you tend to earn 3 or 4 different kinds of materials, so you're going to have to use every single individual one of those repeatedly on your banker's note to note them, and you'll have a bunch of different note stuff in your invent. It's not going to be the best, but if you are just mining or woodcutting and you're at a single node, then banker's note's going to be great for that. Not going to have really any use for a lot of the production skills that require you to actually stand near a thing. So if you're smithing, for example, or cooking, probably going to be at a range or a furnace that's near a bank anyway. Or obviously smithing, of course, you smith from the metal storage, so you don't even need to have your metal with you. It's not going to do a whole lot for thieving either, because like I say, even if you don't take the thieving relic, you can of course get noted loot from the 99 thieving cape in this game. But before then, you know, could be useful for pickpocketing. Before you've got your thieving cape, note all the loot. And once again, even if you don't want to note things, wherever you are, whatever you're doing, you can just open up your bank, get stuff out, or put it in. It's not going to be super useful for some of the skills. It's got almost no use for something like divination or hunter. Necromancy, no real use. Invention, no real use. Summoning will be really, really good before you get access to the Elven Crystal Teleport Shard to the Amlod District to train your summoning over there. You'll be able to bring all your noted summoning secondaries over to the obelisk in, say, Tavali or something. Let's say I want to do some summoning. I've got my banker's note with me. Let's say this scrimshaw here is the banker's note. I'd be able to come over to an obelisk like this, make a bunch of pouches, have the secondaries with me, but also a bunch more noted secondaries, be able to create a whole inventory of pouches, then use one of the pouches on the banker's note. That would turn all of these into notes in one inventory space. So let's, for the sake of argument, just make them into scrolls. So that would be my stack there of noted bunyips. Then I'd be able to get myself a full invent of sharks out again by unnoting these, and then reuse the obelisk and make another full inventory of bunyips, and just repeat. You'd be able to absolutely turbocharge your summoning as long as you've got the secondaries for it anyway. That'd be a really, really nice use for the banker's note. You'll have some mild convenience with some other skills, maybe, you know, farming. If you don't take the farming relic, instead of running all the way over to the leprechaun, of course, you could just note your herbs directly on this thing, save you running a few tiles, or alternatively, you can just open your bank and put all your herbs straight in there. So it'd save you a little bit of time with some skills like that. It's going to be really, really nice specifically though for questing. Anytime you have any item required for a quest, as long as they're in your bank, you're not even going to have to think about withdrawing them until you're at the point in the quest where you need them. Then you can just left click on your banker's note, pull exactly what you need out, and have a nice clear inventory. And like I say, while you are running around doing things like questing, you can either open your bank, get some skilling supplies out, maybe, you know, get some arrow shafts out if you've got 5 minutes of just running, make some headless arrows, get some 0 time XP. It'll be really, really useful for quite a lot of stuff, but we're going to have to kind of come up with the plan for this by ourselves. Of course, there's a lot of things we can copy from the old school league that did have a similar relic to this, but it didn't include the power to open your bank remotely. So this one's going to be even more powerful, and it's going to be some crazy stuff we're going to be able to do with it. It's going to be really nice for prayer as well, even though at the prayer altar in the Wildy, there is an NPC that does patrol around who does act as a bank, but it'll save you running a couple of tiles to him and a couple of tiles back in between offering bones. So that'll be really nice for early prayer. Be good for the Ectofuntus as well. You'll be able to grind bones there a lot quicker than banking and coming back with the Ectofile. There's so much you are going to be able to do with this that you'll just have to kind of find out as the league goes. And it can completely replace like beasts of burden, so maybe if you're not the most confident with PVM, you could bring maybe a damage familiar or something like a hellhound instead of a yak, and you could just have a massive stack of noted food in your invent and just keep on noting that instead. Keep yourself alive at harder bosses. So it's going to be kind of insane having remote access to your bank wherever you are. I mean, it's hard to say that that won't help you in some form in almost every skill, probably literally just excluding dungeoneering or something like divination. Very interested to see where this goes up against. I've got a little bit of a graphic here of the relics, as you can see on screen, that we've seen so far. I think this one will be over there at tier 5 or higher. It depends if tier 5 scrolls on a bit in this original image and there's actually 4 relics in tier 5, but I think there'll be 2. I think there'll be Banker's Note, and it'll be up against something else equally big. I think in old school leagues we had something like Infinite Money as the other relic. I don't necessarily see that here in RS3 because we've already had some good money relics like the Agility and the Thieving ones, but Banker's Note will be crazy. Let me know below if you can think of anything amazing this will be good for. Questing, remote 0-time skilling wherever you are, banking for more PVM food, doing yourself rune crafting or summoning hyper quickly. Those are going to be the big ones. But let me know if you've thought of something I haven't. Really excited for this one. Might take it myself, depends what it's up against. And as usual, thank you for tuning in, and I will see you tomorrow for tomorrow's reveal, which might be something that's up against this. We'll have to see. So subscribe if you're enjoying the videos. Goodbye.